I'm a black child of SA. Of course, the molesters are still allowed around the kids. Of course, that's family. I'm a black child of SA. Of course, my daughter can't stay at your house. Of course, not. I'm a black child of SA. Of course, my daughter know what good touch and bad touch was by the age of 2. Of course.
Hey YouTube, you have made your way back to Mind Your Mind with Just Justified. So you saw the thumbnail. We are going to jump right in. So I decided to tackle a sensitive topic today. It is actual child abuse, AB, right? I will refer to it as SA moving forward. So I do have a trigger warning. So this is the following statements and or content may be unsettling, upsetting, or cause distress. This is not my intent. My intent is to bring awareness, and hoping with awareness comes change. So let's move on. I decided to start it with some stats where it says, though estimates vary across studies, research has shown that about 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys in the United States experience child SA, right? Next, 90% of child SA is perpetrated by someone known and trusted by the child or the child's family, like a family member. Next one, 1 in 10 children will be the victim of SA before their 18th birthday. Next, 20% of adult women and 5 to 10% of adult men recall a child SAAB incident. Last one, children ages 7 to 13 are the most vulnerable to child SA. So we are going to go to our first video, which addresses all the guilty parties in a child SA situation.
Now, some of y'all already know I'm a little out of control when it comes to speaking my mind. But if this message offends you, it's only because the shoe fits and you can take a long walk off a short bridge. It's no secret that abuse happens in a lot of families. And it doesn't matter what race, what background, what upbringing, it happens in a lot of families. And you know the abuse that I'm talking about. That's sick. But let's address you sick family members who think that it's okay to cover up and water down certain situations from these sick abusers and some of the sick that they do strictly because they're family members. You motherfuckers are just as bad as some of these abusers. Let's talk about you sick ass family members that like to turn the other cheek about shit you know ain't right. But because they're your family member, you want to pretend like it wasn't that serious or it wasn't like that. Or how about you ones that ignore it all the way? PSA, you're just as sick-minded and distorted as the abuser, and if you didn't know, you're causing just as much trauma to the victim by disregarding their feelings and what took place strictly because you don't want to deal with it. Some of you motherfuckers got your nerve to know that certain shit has taken place and continue to have this family member around. You don't think that's a problem? How about the ones that find out about certain shit later on down the road, and in your opinion, since it's an old situation, you feel the need to not address it or just let it go, and now this same abuser has moved on to traumatizing and harming the younger generation. You don't feel like that's a problem? Well, I'm here to tell you that you're partly to blame, because not only is it sick to do it and sick to cover it up, but it's sicker to turn the other cheek and allow it to continue. And it's also continuing to harm the person that was already victimized by this. And let's not even get into the ones who act like it didn't happen altogether or that the person is lying. You motherfucker questionable. What about the ones making excuses for, oh, they weren't in their right state of mind. Oh, they were drunk. Oh, they were too young. Oh, something happened to them. Well, what the happened to you? Because there's no excuse. I just wanted to make this video to disrespectfully remind you that you're just as much to blame as the person doing this. It doesn't matter when you were made aware of it, but I hope it weighs so far heavy on you that you can't sleep at night. And please remember that one day you will have to answer for turning the other cheek.
So what I liked was that she did not just leave the responsibility on the perpetrator alone. She also addressed the people who cover it up or water it down or ignore it altogether, and the ones that make excuses for it. You know, so she's saying that all of them are responsible. So this next video was someone who used a popular TikTok trend to bring awareness about child SA.
Of SA. Of course my family was still talking to my molester until the day he died. Of course. I'm a black child of SA. Of course all the sort of my family was brushed under the rug because what happens in this house stays in this house. Of course. I'm a black child of SA. Of course when I came out about my abuse, I was told I was a liar. Of course. Like, of course. I'm a black child of SA. Of course when I finally came out about everything, they said, why didn't you Ben say something? As if they were going to do anything anyway, of course. I'm a black child of SA. Of course the molesters are still allowed around the kids. Of course, that's family. I'm a black child of SA. Of course my daughter can't stay at your house. Of course not. I'm a black child of SA. Of course my daughter know what good touch and bad touch was by the age of 2. Of course. I'm a black child of SA. Of course I don't trust y'all around my daughter. I know what family can do. The fuck? I'm a black child of SA. Of course I was told I need to get over it. I'm grown now. Of course. I'm a black child of SA. Of course I was only a victim because my molesters wasn't stopped the first time. Of course. Generations, guys, generations.
The sad part of her, of course, video were the resounding comments that resonated with what she was saying. So here are a few comments. Let me actually, hold on. Okay, so here are a few comments. All right, so this comment says, they don't understand that it can follow you forever. Shaking my head. I cut off my family and I felt free. That was one person in the comment. So here is another one. This person says, I went through the same thing, but my mom stayed with the man for 2 more years, claiming she was trying to catch him in the act. I suffered for 2 more years. Here's another comment. The hypervigilance with our own children is real. I can only imagine. Here's another comment. It says, OMG, why you ain't been tell us so he won't be around my child? He was still around after I told. And they knew he had allegations when I was a child. Here's the next one. I'm 43, went through the same thing, and family still telling me to get over it, and they invited them to my wedding. Here's another. I went through the same thing at 5 and went into the system, but now at 31, it's still a family secret. And of course, he's still around the family. My little sisters are his nieces. And here's this one. It says, unfortunately, this is so true. She told me I was acting fast. So that was just a few of many that was in the comment section. Actually, last time I looked at the comment section, it was like 2,950, I believe, of comments. Oh, 2,590 comments. That's the last time I checked. And a great majority of those comments were people co-signing this experience. So the next video is a skit that portrays some reactions that some people get when they share that they were SA'd.
This is very difficult to tell you, but I've been SA'd.
What were you wearing?
I was SA'd.
How'd you get yourself in that situation?
Mom, I was SA'd.
Did you tell them to stop? You didn't tell them to stop.
Mom, I was SA'd.
Well, were you drinking?
Mom, I was SA'd.
Did you get them the idea that you wanted it?
Mom, I was SA'd.
Why were you even alone with them?
And I co-sign that last message because there's no acceptable reason for anyone to invite themselves into your personal space, or even a child's personal space, and they're not capable of consent to any actual interaction. So let's make this clear. SA are both touching and non-touching behaviors. And sometimes they can use grooming tactics such as physical force, play, deception, threats, and other forms to coerce a child or to keep them silent. So how can you tell if a child is being or has been SA'd? So one way is an increase in nightmares and difficulty sleeping. Another, withdrawn behavior, angry outbursts, anxiety, depression, not wanting to be left alone with certain people, explicit knowledge, language, and or behaviors inappropriate for a child's age. Sometimes some are ignorant people get to blaming the victims for not telling about their SA sooner. Definitely ignorant, and here's why. Because sometimes there are threats of bodily harm to the child and or the child's family, which keeps them from telling. Another, a fear of being removed from the home. Another is a fear of not being believed, which you saw even in that previous video where, sometimes people kind of flip it, blame the victim, or, say, what did you do? Another is shame or guilt. Another is getting the perpetrator in trouble. Because remember, we're talking about children, so they don't know. They may not be able to, especially if it's like a family member or something, they may not want to get that person in trouble because it's like, kind of the way they look at that person. It is a family member. Everybody, interacts with this person. They don't want to get the perpetrator in trouble. All right. Another is believed it was their fault. Another, younger children may not have the language skills to communicate. So that's why, they may not be able to tell. So if a child informs you that they are SA, number one, stay calm. Next, listen carefully. Never blame them. Thank the child for having the courage to trust you. Reassure them of your support. Call for help immediately. If you need immediate help, of course, call 911. But otherwise, if you know or suspect that a child is being SA'd, there is definitely a hotline number that you can call. And I'm going to put that in the screen right now. All right. So here is the number. That is the hotline number that you can call. So if you suspect or know of a child, if they have been SA'd, please call that number. All right, so I do have a mindful moment. Like it's not a question today. It's more so tips to help protect children from SA abuse. All right, so these are tips to protect children from SA abuse, AB. So here's number one: teach children accurate names of private body parts. Number two, avoid focusing exclusively on stranger danger. Keep in mind that most children who are AB'd by someone they know and trust. Number three, teach children about bodily safety and the difference between okay and not okay touches. Number four, let children know that they have the right to make decisions about their body. Empower them to say no when they do not want to be touched, even in non-sexual ways. Like politely refusing hugs, and to say no to touching others. Number five, make sure children know that adults and other children never need help with their body parts. Never need help with their private body parts. Example, for with bathing or going to the bathroom. Number six, teach children to take care of their own private parts, i.e. bathing, wiping after bathroom use, so they don't have to rely on adults or other children for help. Number seven, educate children about the difference between good secrets, like surprise parties, which are okay because they are not kept secret for long, and bad secrets, those that the child is supposed to keep secret forever, which are not okay. Number eight, trust your instincts. If you feel uneasy about leaving a child with someone, don't do it. If you're unconcerned about possible SA, ask questions. So those are some tips to help protect children from SA. All right, it's been a heavy topic. But you saw the stats. It's frequent, and we need to actually bring more awareness to this, because a lot of times the children are usually going through this because they do not know, or there hasn't been some type of conversation. It can be at their age level, their comprehension, but there needs to be some type of conversation had in this world that we live in now to protect our children. All right, I'm gonna flash the child AB number again, and I'm gonna flash that number again so we can talk about it. I mean, so you can have it. Here we go. That's the child AB number. All right. So if you suspect or know, please call this number, okay? All right. Until the next one.